driving up there, and there's a gate. So I said, shit, park outside the gate, and I climb over it.
Got caught.
And I start walking towards the house. And all of a sudden, these two Doberman pinchers start.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I turned around and I started. And right when I got to the fence, I was going for the gate, but the dogs kind of went like this. So I went to the side and I was going to jump over, and one dog got me right here. Right here.
Whoa.
And then I hit the barbed wire fence and just tore it all up.
That is a crazy story.
What's that one?
Oh, that's just from playing rugby.
Oh yeah, I think they have those. Those are like the.
Oh, the patch.
Yeah.
That is so cool. That is so cool.
Oh, I've never seen that patch before.
Is that?
That's cool.
Dang. So that was your uniform that you wore?
The alumni team.
Wait, that is so
Oh,
cool. They
I'm
still
assuming they have an
the
alumni
logo,
game.
or
Do they have an alumni
Yeah, they do.
game?
they still have it, yeah.
That's cool.
They don't let anyone use the old games logo then.
Really?
Yeah. Just the basketball team, I think. But they don't want to, so.
Do you mind if we take pictures of that at the end of our interview?
Go for it.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for doing this.
I didn't have any others. I don't.
That's really,
Too long.
That's
50 years is a long time to keep stuff.
Do you mind if I take notes on my computer while we do our interview?
You guys can do whatever you want.
All right.
So, are you ready to record?
Yes, I just started it.
Okay. So, would you find the first question was, we don't have to start now, but was that question okay, or did you want to?
Well, let's see. I think one. No, wait, not. Yeah, like 1 and 2, I think are very similar.
We can combine. We can kind of say like.
And so when I just, you guys can just.
We'll ask the first question, but you can answer them in kind of groups, kind of.
Yeah.
And then after that, we'll skip to question 3. Do you think?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. We just go down the line if you want.
Okay.
I didn't really have a. You guys gave me these questions too late. I was had some stuff to do today, and it took a couple hours to do this, but my mind was going all these different directions. So hopefully it makes sense.
Okay. We can also retake or redo however many times you want, or whatever. Yeah.
No, this is your class.
Okay.
Okay.
So do you want to answer the first one, or do you want to do it?
Yeah, I can say the
Yeah,
first
go
one.
for it.
How did your time at St. Mary's College shape your future trajectory? Not just like in your professional life, but also in your personal life.
What it did is it shaped what I believed in, what I stood for, and pretty much, I think who I am, kind of like building the foundation. Because when you come here, you're newly adults, and the shackles of childhood are gone, and you're free of your parents, and you're free of a lot of obligations and stuff. So this is, I guess, where I started finding my own voice instead of, as I mentioned last time, being so caught up in the church and my parents being hardcore Catholics. It was like I didn't have that burden on me. So it was really kind of like building an identity. And what it did is it taught me how to, being in different classes and different organizations and stuff, how to argue and justify the positions I had on anything. It started to show me how to count and see evidence for arguments, where people stood and how they had arrived at it. And I also started to see what problems were important to me, anyway. And it also defined success, what fairness was on a different level. And then also, the big thing for me was kind of like a networking type thing, where you form friends and different types of friends. I mean, I had friends in different sports I had, different groups I associated with, and so forth, because that eventually that kind of goes further beyond college. Those friends become like collaborators or people you work with, that kind of stuff. And then like the professors you have aren't really professors anymore; they're more like mentors. And it also exposed me to a lot of different ideas and different types of activism that I had not known about before. So,
Do you still keep in contact with a lot of like your friends from St. Mary's, you said?
yes,
Yeah.
I have a group of, the basic group is 3 guys. And we get together at least once a month.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
We go to different breweries and
That's awesome.
drink beer.
Have you been to the Canyon Club?
Yep,
Yeah.
several times, yeah.
Oh.
No, one of them lives in Alameda,
Mm.
and the other 2 guys live in Oakland. So I always either take BART or I drive down, and we go down and we hang out for like 2 or 3 hours and just talk everything, politics, wives, everything, family. It's fun to connect,
Mhm.
Beyond that, beyond those 3 guys, I have a group of, I'd say another 20 friends that we communicate with through texting or some other way irregularly. I mean, maybe once or twice a month. A lot of them live up here, a lot of them live in Southern California. So it's great. I mean, it's great to connect with them sometimes not.
I think St. Mary's really sets up for good connections. Like I've had a lot of really good friends too, so it's good to hear that you still keep
And that was one of the things after I finished St. Mary's, and I went off, and everybody just back then we didn't have all these social network things
Yeah.
to help. So everybody just scattered. Okay, and it took me a long time to build this big contact list of all these people that I knew. And people drop off, they come back in, and my daughter went to school here. She graduated in 2015. I told her when she was here, one of the big things she should do is just keep your core friends, keep that friendship going after you leave, because it's not just that you can get together with them and share your what you went through here, but you talk about your experiences in life afterwards. Whether they're here or across the country, wherever. She kind of listened to me, kind of not. I mean, you guys that was back when Facebook was a bigger deal with college kids, and then Instagram now, and who knows what else you guys got. But yeah, I mean I thought that was really important, because I always tended to look back and say, what happened to this guy or that girl, or what did this whole girlfriend, what's she doing now, or that kind of stuff, and don't know.
Yeah, it's important to keep
So building networks I think is something that helped me out after St. Mary's, professionally, and then also in the different types of advocacy I did. So anyway, that was pretty cool. Did St. Mary's prepare me for life after college? I put yes and no. No, because there wasn't anything. I think you guys are pretty good right now. You guys have like career counseling, and you have a lot of employers come in on career night and a whole bunch of other things. We didn't have that, I'd say when we graduated, for a lot of the people that I was good friends with, we didn't know what the hell we were going to do. Some knew that they were going to go to law school. Some of them got jobs like I did. A lot of them had family businesses that they just stepped right into. So if you have that, that's great, But yeah, there was a lot of us that didn't. And the college didn't really provide it. So in that respect, no. But socially, yes. I met a lot of different people here at St. Mary's from all walks of life. I don't know if I mentioned it. There was a lot of international students back then. I don't know. It probably still is. But there was an international club here. Do they still have that?
Yeah, we have an
think so,
intellectual center, so, yeah.
No, it's an international club, aside from the.
I don't know. I don't know
Sure we have.
specifically.
So it's just a group of foreign students
Yeah.
who came to the U.S. to study. A lot of them would stay here at St. Mary's during the summer.
Yeah.
So at one time, I mean, there are people from Kenya, from the Philippines, from Malaysia, from Taiwan. I mean, I could just keep going. And I worked here a couple times in the summers. And at one time, I had in the townhouses, my roommates were these two guys from Kenya, these two guys from the Philippines, and this one guy from Taiwan. And then this other guy who just showed up and just stayed. You know, and it was, I mean, you got exposed to all these different cultures. You know, these guys from the Philippines, these guys were filthy rich.
Really?
And one of them, their parents were in San Francisco. And one time they invited me to go have dinner with them. So I said, yeah. They had like a 10-course dinner.
And like the food probably like.
And the father could speak Spanish, so he was like
Oh.
going on with me and I was going on with him. So it was a great night, but it was a different experience altogether.
That's really cool. A lot of Australians,
Yeah. I have one from Scotland.
Scotland,
Yeah. He's in physics class.
a lot of yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty cool
That's really
back
cool.
then. So I got to meet a lot of people from different cultures. So socially, I was able to like communicate or interface with a lot of them. And so when I left St. Mary's, that kind of gave me an up on dealing with people outside, knowing that there was going to be differences and stuff, and adjusting to it. So that helped in that respect. Politically, nah, there wasn't a lot of that going on. Personally, when I left St. Mary's, I was on my own. I think I roomed with two people from St. Mary's for like 6 months, and then I moved out and I was on my own from that point on. So I didn't really, I interacted with some friends from San Francisco, but I was all over Northern California, so I wasn't interacting with a lot of people from St. Mary's.
So after you graduated, you never went back, like, with your parents, or you?
Nope.
That's awesome.
No. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think I mentioned, they were in LA,
Mm-hmm.
and I was never going to go back to LA. And that was, it was great to grow up there. I have to admit, back in the 70s, it was a beautiful place to grow up. There wasn't as much traffic and stuff. You can go anywhere you wanted really quickly. A lot of things to do, a lot of beaches. And now, it takes like a year of your life to go anywhere.
To get across, yeah.
Traffic, so. So yeah, I didn't go back. Okay, move on to number 3, unless you guys
Yeah,
got.
let's do it.
That's perfect.
Okay.
Were there any specific lessons, relationships, or experiences from your time at St. Mary's that stuck with you and shaped how you navigate your career?
Okay. And I'm gonna change that to my life,
Yeah.
not career.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to give you like 2 or 3 examples. So when I first got here as a freshman, there was a new dean of students, brand new, just been hired. His name was Bill McLeod. I don't think he was here in the time you guys were here. I think he just retired like 4 or 5 years ago, five or 6. Anyway, guy was young, little short guy. One time there was a basketball game in the old Madigan gym, and I was walking back, and I saw a friend of mine. He was a junior, and he was pissed. He was like all rustled up, and I said, "What happened, man?" He said, "Oh, some guy just jumped me, and we had a big fight in the Ferrell Giaro Center."
Yeah.
I said, "Oh, really?" and I'm trying to calm him down. All of a sudden, there's it's the dean of students, or the dean of students. The guy must have lived here, and he came out and he said, heard what happened, and like, whoa. and he came out just to make sure that he was okay. And I said, wow, I was very impressed with that guy. He was very good at his job. Very good at his job. He wrote me a recommendation actually when I graduated. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I feel like St. Mary's staff, like even when you're sick in class or something happens, like you're always gonna be. I usually email my professor like, "Are you in class? Like, are you okay? Or anything?" Yeah, I feel like I noticed that throughout my years.
My RD last year, for my birthday, he got me cookies, or he baked me brownies and gave me a card, like randomly. And then at the same time this year during my birthday, he did the same thing, and I don't even live on his floor. So I thought that was awesome. Super nice of him.
So that's one example. It just taught me, like you're saying, they care. The people you care about, the students. I couldn't say that about all the RDs, whatever you guys call them now, all the administrators back then. There was another guy. Let's see, where did I put him? A Christian brother. His name was Brother DeSales. Everest. And that was his brother's name, religious name. His real name was Oscar Pettis. But he was he taught collegiate seminar, and I think he taught Spanish, but it was one of the higher up levels where you read a book in Spanish and then discuss it in class in Spanish. So it was a higher level class. And he eventually, when I left, he became the director of the collegiate seminar for like almost 20 years. And he changed it all around. He brought in, I forget what it was called. A different way of running the seminar. Not really the seminar, but an extension of it. It's like multicultural thought or something like that.
Oh.
And dealing with other cultures, not just dealing with like the great books.
Oh yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
So anyway, the guy, he lived in Aquinas on the 3rd floor, and he'd always say, "Hey, come on up," and he'd always have classical music playing. And you go in there and his room was just lined with books and albums, with vinyl albums, and he had a really great sound system. He had all these artifacts, and I was just going, "Wow, this guy's pretty well learned." And so we had a really good relationship. And then he started inviting me to go to the symphony with him. I said, okay. And this wasn't just me. It was like a group of us, like 4 or 5 of us. And he would buy his symphony subscription, and then he'd buy student subscriptions for like 5 kids. And he'd get 5 different people to go with him. And then eventually it just started being the same 5. So we'd always go with him, and let me take a step back. When I was a kid, my mom used to, even though she only spoke Spanish, she'd always play the classical station in LA at home. And when I was at home, I just loved it. When I was in high school, I took music classes. I didn't play any instruments, but I just loved it. So when this guy started taking us, I was like, wow, this is great. And then I graduated. I said, oh, wow, that's over. Then the guy called me up and said, hey, want to keep going? So for like, I don't know, 10, 15 years, we kept going. And he'd give me tickets to the ballet, to the opera. First time I heard an opera. No, second time. First time. And I don't know, I just appreciated it. And then he actually left the brothers for a period of time. I'm not really sure why. I thought maybe it was just had some differences with the brothers, or just wanted to explore something different. But he left, and he bought a house in Oakland. And he'd always invite me over. And it turned out the guy was a great cook. He had gone to a culinary school in France,
Ooh.
and on his own, or during like the summers, or I think maybe even during January term. And we would just, I mean, he left wine. I mean, I took a wine class here my senior year. I think there were 2 brothers here that gave it. And that was like, opened up my mind of wine. I'm going, wow, you know. And this guy just appreciated wine on a different level. And he just talked to me about wine. He talked to me about books, about art. And then he'd cook this great meal and from scratch. I mean, that guy was just, he was a Renaissance guy. If you're, my idea of a Renaissance man was this guy. And anyway, so he taught me a lot of stuff. Okay, he taught me, he helped me learn to appreciate different things in life than just work in your career and that kind of stuff. And I really appreciated that. And just to take that one step further, so I told you my wife was an opera singer.
Yeah.
Okay, so she sang, and then until she couldn't, and then she taught. And then in 2000, we started an opera company
You did? Oh.
here in Contra Costa.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's called Solo Opera. You can look it up, soloopera.org.
Solo?
Solo, S-O-L-O,
Okay.
opera, one word, .org. And you can see all the stuff we put in. So we did it from 2000, and we're closing it up right now because we're burned out.
Yeah.
And there's no more money. People, for some reason, aren't donating as much, and we don't get grants like we used to. But that's like the next level up, you know, just. So I was behind the scenes. Sometimes I help build sets. Sometimes I had to do I did all the financials for the company, a lot of the fundraising, just behind the stuff you don't see, you know. We gave opportunities to as many local singers as possible. That was our big deal. We didn't pay anybody at first, but then we did start paying them. And so we started off, I think, we went to the Leisure Center and we said, hey, we'd like to put on an opera. And they said, we don't know you. So they were going to tell us no. And then they said, okay, well, we can give you a day in the middle of the week. And we said, sure. So we went in, and the guy said, but there's a play going on right now that whole week, and the set is already built. You have to do your opera in
the set.
And we said, oh, okay. So it was a set where they had a staircase going up and a door on the other side. And we said, it's perfect.
It's kind of perfect. I was going to say, it's kind of nice.
It was perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, I forget what play it was, but we put two operas on. Well, you can see one. Well, you can't see one there. They call it. Anyway, we used their set. One was called The Telephone, and one was called The Medium. And that was our first one. And it only played one night. But we filled 60% of the house, which is
Oh,
cool.
wow.
Yeah.
So for like a Wednesday or Thursday night.
And Leisure's a nice place, too.
And it was in the middle theater, the
Okay.
Margaret Leisure Theater.
Yeah.
And that's where we did all our programs. Except for the last one. Okay, so that started off with one opera was called The Telephone, was with 2 singers, and the other one, the medium was with I think 5 and 1 kid.
They start giving you more days to.
I know it would have been great, but I mean, they didn't know us. They didn't really want to take a chance on us. So it's all right. We didn't know what we were doing anyway.
Yeah, that's awesome. You did that, though.
I mean, it was all volunteers, and there was one instance where in the telephone we had to show it was this lady who was on the phone all the time. I mean, and she almost treats like the phone like a lover, you know. But she has a boyfriend, and the guy can't get a word edgewise. You know, he's just so he gets all frustrated, you know, and he leaves. And so we had to show him at a different location calling on the payphone so he can get a hold of her to talk to her. So where the door was, we built a telephone, like the old style, where
Yeah.
we built one we all actually got a telephone, a payphone, and put it on there. And right when the scene came up, we were backstage going, lifting this sucker and putting it in. And the guy walks in, was just calling, you know. It was kind of funny. And our last opera was in 2023. And that one cost us, I think, like $10,000. Our last one we did in 2023 cost us $150,000.
Ooh.
And we had, it was huge. We had a girls' chorus in the opera, and we had just a ton of singers.
So it costed you guys $100,000 to put on?
Wow.
Oh my god.
And then we had a full orchestra too.
What?
Oh, that's
Full time.
awesome.
Where was this at?
Well,
Where
at
did you-
the Hoffman, at the Lesher,
Oh, Atlas, okay.
the big theater.
So that's not a lot. Is that one like you?
Yeah.
It is. Dang. That's
These-
crazy.
That was our,
This is legit.
yeah, that was it. I
Did your
mean,
brother that came to see, oh, what else? Did he ever go to one of your shows?
no, because we started it in 2000. I forget when he died. No, I think he died.
It's awesome that you did that. That was awesome. It's crazy.
Yeah. But some of my St. Mary's friends came. And one of the brothers from here, Brother Camillus. Did you know Brother Camillus?
Oh, that sounds very
The
familiar.
meditation guy?
Yeah.
Oh, you
that sounds
mentioned.
very
Yeah.
familiar.
Yeah. He died a few years ago. But. So anyway, that's how that progressed from listening with my mom.
Oh,
So,
your whole life.
so yeah, he was, let's see, what I wrote about him. A man of culture and refinement, and an imaginative culinary artist. He collected art, artifact, books, music, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so that's that.
That's awesome. That's what it is that you guys were able to connect and you got to, he taught you a different aspect to life that you,
Yeah.
maybe, I'm not saying that you would have never gotten there, but it's cool that, because I feel like sometimes I'm so focused on my own life, and then when I hang out with some of my friends that are interested in something else, that it opens my eyes to see, like, oh, you can focus on something else in your life that doesn't just revolve around your life.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Opens your eyes.
There's one last thing.
Yes.
I want to mention. This really doesn't apply, but it taught me something. When I was in here, there was another brother who taught a class, and I forget what the class was, but we had to write an essay. And all I remember is that I picked up this book, and it was called How I Found Freedom in an Unfree World. And basically what the guy was saying is, you know, even in society where you have a lot of restrictions and stuff like that, that you can still achieve personal freedom by changing how you think, what you choose, and how you act. And there's much more that goes into that, but it's the thought that you make your own choices. And so that was one thing that I carried forward. It stuck with me, that I learned her, and it helped me in actually later in my career also. So just put a pin on that, and I'll get back to it.
Do you have stuff still left from the theater that you had like at your house?
Yes.
Yes. Would you like send us some pictures or lend us a couple for like the artifacts?
If you look at the website, it's all there.
All in there? Okay, perfect.
It's got
What was
this
the book you just said? It's called?
This is
solo
cool.
opera
No, the book.
About the book?
Yeah, sorry.
How I Found Freedom in America.
I think it's interesting because I've read a lot of books and obviously I've had my favorites, but it's really cool to like have when a book has that much of an impact on you. I just always am curious about.
It's when, it's like one of these self-help books type things.
Sometimes though,
It's,
that's when
well, it just sticks with me because, well, I'll tell you why it stuck with me. I'm a big comic book fan. graphic novels. And when I was a kid, I always had Superman, Green Lantern, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
This guy referenced Superman in there.
Oh, really?
I said, oh, that's interesting. He said, I was trying to understand why. He says, well, we have heroes in the world, these people that do all these things, and at the end, they fly off, and we never thank them. And he was trying to, I think one of the things he was trying to impress is on me in his book was, don't try to be a hero, because you'll find disappointment, and you have to do it for the right reasons, whatever you're doing. It's got to be not because you're expected to do it or you have to do it. It's because you want to do it. And so along the same thoughts, if you want to do it, you shouldn't expect people to thank you for it. Right? And that was just a little subplot in his book. But he was referencing Superman. I said, oh. I think I titled mine essay Superman and Man and Superman or something like that. That was a term used back then for something else. But I can't remember.
That's awesome. Going to the next question. Did you ever feel pressure to move away from your identity and or values as you moved forward in your career path? How did you navigate those pressures?
So I'll kind of answer that with two examples. They don't really apply to it, but when I first got hired with Pacific Telephone, they sent me up to the engineering office in Fairfield. And it was an office with about, 25, 30 engineers and about another, 10 administrative, they're all women, clerks. There was one black lady engineer, one white lady engineer, and all the rest were all men. And I'd say the average age was like 40, 45, so there were a lot of old guys there. The oldest guy had been hired right after World War II. And this was like 76, so it's like 30 years, the guy was still there. And he was an old guy, man. The guy was, nobody messed with him, the guy was just crump-haired. He just did his own thing, But the point was, here I was, and I accepted the job there because a friend of mine, a couple years before, had gotten the same job, and he was still there. I said, oh, good, a buddy to help me learn the ropes and stuff. And he transferred out like a week after. So here I am in this huge office. Well, it wasn't huge, 25, 30, mostly white, mostly guys who had come up from the ranks from like splicers or installers. So these guys were gruff, and here I am, the college hire, or as they called me, the affirmative action guy. And there was one guy, I don't know if you guys knew, but back then USF was our huge rival in basketball.
Oh.
But it was just a huge rival, period. And I think you might have heard stories about them coming out here, and I was going over there and screwing around on the campus and stuff.
I didn't hear about that.
One guy was from USF, had gone to USF. And that guy was like a closet racist. And I was there in that office for 3 years. The first 2 years were the worst I've ever experienced anywhere.
Because of him?
Partly because of him, but he went out of his way to make life miserable. And I never really understood exactly why. maybe it was because I was from St. Mary's, maybe because I was Mexican, or just a college hire, or what. But it was a tough 2 years. The guy who recruited me, I called him up once and I said, I think after 6 months, and I said, this isn't working. You know, I'm I'm getting the short of the straw on everything. You know, and I told him what was going on. He said, look, and he talked me down. He gave me some pointers and some tips, and I stuck it out. And after the second year, I actually got my own route, my own area to handle. So I was on equal footing with these other guys. But I saw the writing on the wall. I was hired under something called one of these. What companies do, corporations do is they hire college students and they put them on a program because they see potential, and then they move them up or switch them around. Pac Bell or Pac Telephone, as I found out later, was notorious for starting these programs and then letting them die. So I was hired under something called guided management development, and they were supposed to keep tabs on me and check up on me every 6 months. And then after a year, they said, "Oh, we're doing great. We're gonna move you over here," and it never happened. So I saw the writing on the wall, and I knew. Let me add one more thing. If you worked for Pac Bell, you had a job for life. I mean that.
Really?
I mean, you could retire there 30 years later. I mean, that's how tight the place was. They didn't really fire people unless you're really bad off. But I saw the writing on the wall. I knew I wasn't going to get anywhere in that office. So they asked me if I wanted to go up to Ukiah. You guys know where that is?
Yeah.
It's like 3 hours from here. It's Mendocino County. Town's only 12,000 people, but it's a huge area because it's a lot of small communities, but it's a huge area. It goes all the way. The office handled everything from the coast to Lake County, all the way up to Humboldt, Eureka. And so they said, would I want to go up there for 6 months to help them out because they were short on stuff? I said, I raised my hand, and I lived in a hotel for like 6 months, but it was like night and day. The engineers up there, I think the average age was like 30. And they have tons of contractors. A lot of them were in their 20s.
So you were just out of college at this time, or were you?
I was like about 25 when I went up there.
Were you married yet, or?
Yeah, I wasn't
The
married.
6 months in a hotel, that's kind of crazy, but did they pay for it?
They paid for everything.
That's fun.
In fact, I even moved out of my apartment in Fairfield
To live in the hotel.
to live in a hotel. And then
Free
I come
house?
back and I stay at my girlfriend's on the weekends or something.
You're saving money.
But yeah, I did. I saved a lot of money, and but just the difference in type of people you work with, just having a younger crowd, more relatable. I did things with them on the weekends and stuff.
Yeah.
I never did anything with these guys. It was like 9 days. I thought it was the greatest thing. It's a great place. It's a great place if you're young and have a family. It's a terrible place if you're single. Because everybody leaves, and there's nothing to do there but go to the lake and drink and do drugs. And back then that was when the notorious Iron Triangle, or the, what do you call it?
I think that's still what it's called, yeah.
Not the Iron Triangle, the Green Triangle. Anyway, that's where all the weed was grown. And Mendocino, Humboldt, like, because there's so much forest areas, and they just grew it. And yeah, that was all there is to do out there. But I did get a chance to go camping a lot and
Nice.
travel a lot on my own. I mean, I would take off on the weekends and I'd go to Eureka or up to the border of Oregon or go to Tahoe. I mean, I just drive around and just learn about places, and went to Mendocino. And at the end of the 6 months, the director there said, "Hey, you want to stay?" I said, "Yes." So they gave me a job there, and it's actually a better job than I had back in Fairfield. And yeah, so that was.
So you just moved up there?
I was already up there.
Yeah.
I think I moved the bed. That was about it. I put everything in storage, and they moved it. The company moved it.
Oh, nice.
Did you get a room with your girlfriend at the time? Or
No.
Did that happen? Dang it.
Well, actually, when I went up there for 6 months,
Yeah.
I'd come back and visit her and for the weekend, and everything was all right. But then when they started talking about staying, I said, sure. It wasn't serious.
Yeah.
It wasn't serious.
Yeah.
And she was not happy about it, but she never told me she wasn't happy about it. But she told her girlfriend, and her girlfriend told me.
What's that girlfriend? That's a mean girl. Okay. That's fine.
So yeah, so I was there for years. I don't know how we got into it. Oh yeah, that's. The other item that, so I felt a lot of pressure as far as trying to assimilate into that environment. The only other time I really had an issue with what I would say my values is I was working in San Francisco, and I used to, back when you had your local telephone company like back Bell, and then so long distance was a separate part of your bill that was handled by AT&T, but also by MCI. I don't know if you guys remember that, and then one other company. So there were 3 big companies that handled all the long distance in the U.S. And my job was to forecast how many what they call messages and minutes of use
Oh, yeah.
that we sent to them, and I would forecast it for. And then SBC bought Pac Bell. SBC is located in Texas, and that's talk about a different corporate culture. I mean, California laid back, blah, blah, blah. Texas strict as heck. So right when the change was happening, we had to do our final forecast, and my final forecast was projected that it was going to go down. And my boss, like on second to the last day, he came up to me and goes, "You sure you can't improve on that?" And I'm going, "What do you mean improve?" I like looked at the numbers, like ran the forecast and the models and all that stuff. And he goes, "Well, we need to make a great impression." And I'm going, "Yeah." And he goes, "Well, maybe you ought to."
It's gotta go up.
I said, "Well, that's,
Yeah.
he was actually telling me to fake the numbers, And he's a young guy too. I think he was like 5 years older than me. And he stood by my desk. This was like 5 o'clock at night, 6 o'clock at night. I was still finishing up. He came and stood next to me. I said, "You sure you don't want to change that?"
Oh no.
And I could feel the pressure, just change it. So I said, "I'll prepare one just for you." I prepared 2.
That's good.
One for him and one, the real one. I went into his office. I said, here's 2. This is, He took it and he went with the good one.
Really?
Anyway, a couple weeks later, he was gone because he went to another job. But people from Texas showed up. And then the first thing they said was, "We're moving this office to Texas. You have 90 days. Either to find another job, either to move or to find another job." I said, "Oh, crap." And then they pulled me into a meeting and they said, "Explain your forecast."
Did you tell him that
Yeah, I brought my forecast.
Oh, good. Okay, that's a good
And
one.
I explained it, but it was, and I said, he made me change it. I said, "This is what it should be."
Were they appreciative?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
they were pissed. They were very appreciative.
They were mad at you.
They thanked me for my honesty. I said, "Can I have more than 90 days?" Anyway, so it took me 91 days to find a job. Well, actually, I found a job, but I had to. It was a step down from my management level because there weren't any jobs at that point, and I was grudgingly going to take it. And they assured me I could keep my pay at the same level, so it was okay. And then I'm walking down to the cafeteria, and an old friend of mine says, "Hey, what's going on?" I said, "Gotta change jobs, you know, I don't really like it." And he says, "Come and work for me." So he got his boss to agree to take me, but my 90 days was up. We had to get like the VP to write a letter to extend me by a day,
Oh, wow.
just so I could come in and sign. And that was the best job I ever had.
Oh, really?
Best job.
So
Anyway,
why is it so the 90 days to find 90 days to find a job, or else what happens if you
laid off.
are laid off? So, but you went to a different company, right?
No, I went out and interviewed. I interviewed with Schwab, Fisher Investments, PG&E. There's like 5.
Oh, okay. And then your company.
But they said I could find a job. 90 days to find a job in the company.
Oh, in the company.
That's what I was okay.
Yeah. It's easier to find a job in the company. That way you keep your same pay. You're not on probation if you were with a new company. And all those other things. And this was in 97. Yes, I already had like 10 years. No, wait, that's 20 years.
Wow.
So I had a lot of vacation time.
Yeah.
I'll lose that.
Yeah. Dang. That's awesome that you got another job. 90
Yeah.
days.
Those are the only really 2 times where I felt like pressure to do something that was against the right thing to do. So,
That'd be a weird position to be in, because you probably want to be like his friend and be a friend, and then
no, you don't want to be their friend. It's just, I just wanted to get him out of the way.
you're like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I knew I was going somewhere else, and I knew he was gone already. He was leaving the next day or something. So there was no. I just wanted to get out of there.
At least you're honest. Okay. Do you want to ask the next question? I'm ready for it.
Sure. Is there something you feel you missed the opportunity to experience or learn at St. Mary's?
I never traveled during January term.
Oh.
I'm really pissed about that.
What were the opportunities back then to like places to go?
Skiing in Italy,
Wow.
Oh.
Spain,
Okay.
Germany, Mexico. I think I knew somebody who went to South America, Independence Day. So they had opportunities,
Okay.
but I just didn't have any money. So yeah,
That's a big one.
that was the one big thing I regretted.
My friends, a lot of them are traveling to Europe or all these places. I'm seeing pictures. It looks so fun. Like, because they're taking art classes or they're taking like pottery or it's just like really easy cooking classes. And it's so fun to do it in different countries. But I was never able to do it because of the rowing team. So we have to practice. But I always thought about how fun would that be. So, yeah.
My daughter went to Ireland.
Really?
Oh.
That's like another. My friend just went back. It looked incredible. It seriously looked like a movie. The views looked incredible.
I think the volleyball team right now is the only D1 team that they're allowing their athletes to go on Jantum travels, which is surprising to me because I feel like if you're signing to be like a D1 athlete, you're like committed to the program, and it's like, but I guess it's the coaches. It was the coaches' idea to let them
It's
do that,
important, I think.
which I think is cool.
Yeah. Our junior is like our training camp, so my friends are just not here for that. No.
Did you guys go anywhere?
I haven't gone during Janter, but I've traveled since I was a kid, so I've been very lucky to see a lot of the world.
I luckily have been able to. I went to London and Paris this January, and surprisingly, like I didn't know any of the people like going into the trip, because I feel like at St. Mary's it's small. You think you would know these people, but yeah, I never knew them going into it. And after, it's like we're like, all like best friends after, which I think was awesome.
Yeah.
Which one would you have gone? What intrigued you the most?
I think I would have wanted to go either to France or Spain.
Nice.
My older brother, one of my older brothers, on the rugby team went to London and Paris
Was it for the
during their tour.
They still do it. Yeah. Awesome.
We got screwed.
Really?
It was the 1976, the bicentennial. So they said, let's go to Washington. Go see the Liberty Bell.
No. They just went to. Where did they just go to?
New Zealand.
Yeah.
That was over.
Oh yeah, they just went to New Zealand, but
They-
then the year before they went to like Ireland, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looked incredible. Like, I did travel with your team as different class because they didn't have any like
Oh, yeah.
academic things. They were just drinking and partying the whole time.
My buddy, he goes to Santa Clara, and they went to Italy. This season, they just went to Italy.
Yeah, that's
And then, seems cool.
do you want to ask the next question?
Yeah. When you think about everything you've experienced as a young adult in college, do you feel proud? Do you have anything that you regret?
I don't know about feeling proud. I'm not really sure that. Proud of St. Mary's or
Maybe like a sense of like accomplishment or proud like within yourself.
I guess in that sense that I graduated and got a job. No, I look back very fondly on my time here at St. Mary's. It was there's so many new things I experienced that I would never have had a chance to do if I had stayed in LA. If I'd gone to college in LA, for example, and lived at home or in an apartment. Just being away from home and being on my own and being accountable for myself, I think that helped me mature a lot and become a better person and a person who didn't just look as myself as the only thing in the world, or just thinking only about myself and helped me look out at other people. So. So what else? It's a great experience. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but
I'm graduating student. I'm like, it's kind of sad because I feel like when you're in the middle of St. Mary's, I feel like I can't wait to be done. I can't wait to be done. I can't wait to be done here. But then when it's the final month or the final year, I feel like the whole year I've just been soaking up every single moment and doing everything I can. Like, when I'm walking to class, like I see these trees, I'm like, you're gonna miss this tree. It's like I still get to see it. Or if I'm walking like in front of the campus at a huge statue, it's what other college campus is like that? Like, it's really beautiful. So yeah, I love people like that.
It's crazy to think how fast it goes. People always say, "Oh, it goes by fast," and you're like, "Oh no, well, and it really does."
I think it goes slow, and like the days and weeks are slow, but then like I don't know, for some reason it goes by
The
fast.
month is just over.
I was talking with one of my friends over the weekend, and we were talking about how we're both going to be seniors next year and how it's going by so fast compared to like high school. I feel like high school took forever, but here it's like there's such like a sense of community that you also like are all adults, so you're all like living your own lives that it just goes by so fast because you're not a kid anymore and you have to like take responsibility for yourself. But it's like such a nice community that you get to like be with everyone and it just like goes by so fast.
Yeah, and then you have the anxiety of what comes
What's
next.
next?
Ooh, I like it a lot.
So, yeah. But I have to say, it does, I say it, St. Mary's didn't really prepare me for outside in one sense. In another sense, it did. I mean, only because you're not under the umbrella of your parents, watching over you and taking care of you and all that kind of stuff. You're gonna be on your own, and you gotta make your own decisions. And do you go out and party this weekend, or do you pay the rent, or that kind of stuff? It's
So it's just special 4 years, 4 or 5 this year.
Do you think there were like any specific programs that, looking back, you would have wanted, like, to have opportunities to go outside and work, or is it more that where you are now in your life, you realize that there weren't that many opportunities that the school that gave you to do after school's over? If that makes sense.
No, I'll say that differently.
So, you talked about how like it didn't prepare you for like what you did for work, and actually like prepared you for your life after school, right? Like, what opportunities do you think the school could have provided for students instead?
Okay, well, let me rephrase my answer. No, they didn't really prepare me for what working outside was like in a corporate environment. But having this liberal arts education, I think, was core to being successful beyond St. Mary's, because it made you, instead of just focusing, and I'll get to that a little bit, but a lot of places you just go for your major and just work on that, and here you're doing the collegiate seminar, you're doing more critical thinking than I think that you would do at Hayward, Cal State Hayward. It brings out a different, makes you, what would you say? It helps your mind grow differently.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think in that sense, it did prepare me, because it I don't want to call it critical thinking because that's a cliche, but it did make me think about things differently being here.
Okay.
So what kind of things can they, I don't know what they do now, so I can't really say. What kind of things could they have done? I think they, I don't know. I think they probably could have had more, maybe career nights, maybe, I don't know. The thing about college is it's all theoretical. When you get out there, it's real. And that's one of the things I was going to say later, but that's a big difference. Even when I came back from my master's, after had been working for like 17 and 18 years, no, that's 15 years. The master's program was more real life examples that you studied, and you could take that back to work and apply it. Whereas when you're just taking business courses or engineering, you're doing it all on paper and in a class, and you don't know what else. I mean, there's things that hit you that you're not really ready for. I mean, and that they don't prepare you for that. I mean, you have to compromise. You have to. That's not the right word, but there's things that'll get in your way, and you have to work your way around it. And they can't really teach that in a theoretical environment.
I really feel like, and a lot of my classes I agree with you, but one year, I think my sophomore year, the same professor, Chris Viola, had a class, and he let us go into his kids' elementary school because we wanted to be teachers, and sit in the classroom and help out the teacher and teacher assistant, and that, I feel like everything I've learned in the classroom about how to deal with kids and how they think, it actually clicks so much easier because I saw it happen in my life. So it's like, no. But I couldn't really see that for any other major because it's hard, but that was a cool experience.
They might. I think some type of like internships would be very beneficial in a lot of fields. I remember we had a marketing class, and one of the things we had to do was go out to a company and talk to their marketing people. And I remember we went to the Transamerica Pyramid. I was lost. I didn't know what the hell the guy was talking about. you know, I came back and, you know, it was a group exercise, so fortunately, the other two people helped get me through that, but I was lost. Hearing somebody apply real world examples was just beyond me at that point.
Next question. What advice would you give students today about making the most of their education and preparing them for life after college? It's a kind of deep question.
Which question is that?
Mm.
Oh, wait.
I think you may have skipped one.
We skipped one?
Did you say 7 yet?
7. Do we do 7?
Oh.
Well, we kind of talked about that.
Yeah.
I think that was very similar.
Well, for 7, I'll say the same thing. So they were like, the values I learned here were the foundation of how I continued growing later in life. And I mentioned you live away from your family, you have your own socials, you choose your own social circles when you get out. You encounter different viewpoints, new ideologies, and you experiment with independence. So, in essence, you start seeing things not as this is what I think, as opposed to this is what I've been told. So, yeah, kind of a lazy way to say it. So I just wrote some thoughts on that. Didn't really get a chance to. So I was thinking, you're looking at real versus realistic. So you have clear principles, but when you get out there, or clear principles and how things should be, you know, theoretical, versus when you get out there, you have to deal with trade-offs, constraints, unintended consequences. So in college, you could almost say it's more absolute. This is how things are supposed to work. Whereas when you get out, it's conditional and a whole bunch of other things. Yeah, theoretical. Yeah, when you get out, you're dealing with an actual work environment. You got family obligations. You got financial constraints. I already said all that. That's what I wrote down. Okay. Next one. What advice?
Oh, yeah. What advice would you give students today about making their education and preparing for life after college?
So this is more for these guys, not you, right? 'Cause you're gone.
Actually, me too. Honestly, fun the most.
So, I would treat your education as like a training for thinking. And you can take that the way you want. It's how to think, not education for your job. That makes sense?
Yeah, it does.
I would invest in interpersonal relationships. We talked about that. Expect ambiguity. Be comfortable making decisions without having all the information or expecting a clear, simple answer. It's not going to happen. Look beyond your major. Do more than what you learn to do in college. Take leadership roles, maybe here in college, to prepare you for. Simple things, small things, learn to speak publicly, in public. There's all kinds of things like that. But just look beyond, if I was a business major, I just focused on that. But I also took other classes, like, you've heard of that book, Don Quixote? I spent all January term and dissecting it almost page by page. I told you I worked with the dental students in the migrant camps. What else did I do? Anyway, just don't just do stuff aligned with your major. Expand your mind, do other stuff. And the last thing, be adaptable. And I think I mentioned that the last time or the first time. When you leave St. Mary's, you're gonna probably leave with a strong framework or idea of what your career should be, what success is, what politics you subscribe to. Expect them all to change in the real world. So be adaptable. That's all I got.
That's good advice. One last question. I guess kind of similar, but what about advice you have for younger generation interested in creating more just institutions and advocating for positive change in these spaces?
So this is a little bit harder.
Yeah.
But okay. Advocating for change. Okay. I would learn how institutions actually work. Not just how they should work. I remember when they had the strike here, they just came out and said, we demand this, and this, and this, this. And looking back, in retrospect, I think if the students understood how St. Mary's worked, how the administration worked, they probably could have accomplished similar things without going on a strike. Well, maybe not, I don't know. This was back in the early 70s. But if you know how the system works, you can develop ideas on how to change it, and not just come in and try to tell somebody, this is the way it should be, these are our demands, blah, blah, blah. Second thing, work with people you don't fully agree with. Move from a sense of purity, where everybody in your group agrees with you, to something that's more effective in getting what you need. In other words, don't just hang out with the people that mirror what you're saying. Try to understand and talk with people that disagree with you. You guys ever heard of Dean Witter?
No.
He's a podcaster, and I think he puts stuff up on TikTok. And anyway, the guy's got a brilliant mind. He's a young kid. He's in his 20s.
Blonde, right?
Blonde guy.
Yeah, okay, I think I know.
He has an amazing retention rate. The guy remembers everything. And he has these discussions with people, and he's a liberal. I don't know if he's progressive, but he's a liberal. And he has these discussions or these debates with conservatives, and he just knocks them down left and right. I mean, he just throws stuff right back at them because he's so prepared, and he's, that guy.
Yeah.
That guy's, and it's funny. Sometimes it's funny, but sometimes you hear these people that are hardcore MAGA types, or Trumpsters or whatever you want to call them. I don't know if you guys are that too, but he just lays it all out. And this is what Trump's saying. This is what MAGA's saying. And it all falls apart. Your argument all falls apart. So, but he's engaging them. And a lot of times these people will say, wow, never thought about that. Or, oh, you convinced me, changed my mind or whatever. So I would say the same to you guys. Engage with people who disagree with you,
Yeah.
and try to see where they're coming from.
I think it's really important because I feel like, especially today, I've noticed we're dependent, and it's very politically polarized. Like, if you have a different view from somebody, typically what happens is, like, I think that people come off too strong, and other people shut down when they're listening because they get offended, and then vice versa, like, they'll retaliate and then they'll shut down.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's a really important skill to have a mature conversation, and like you don't have to agree with them, you don't have to like apply it to your own life, but just to like have a conversation with someone and like pick people's brains. I think that's really like intelligent, like a good skill to have. So, yeah.
That's a very important skill to have in the real world.
Yeah, because you won't agree with people ever. Like you probably rarely will agree with anyone fully. Like everyone has their own ideas, so it's a good idea. Yeah, it's good advice. Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, I wrote two more things. Progress, in reference to this question, advocating for positive change. Progress takes a long time. Takes a long time. So, build support, pace yourself, don't burn out, don't tie your self-worth to the outcome. Because you'll lose out sometimes, and you don't want to, self-implode. You want to keep going. So just, I don't know, it's kind of mishmash there. And the last thing I had was learn to write and speak persuasively. Especially writing. Writing is a skill. I mean, speaking is harder because especially if you're not reading from notes like I am, but if you're talking to a group of people that you're not familiar with, just practice it and learn how to do it, and it'll help you a lot in life. I guarantee it.
That's good advice.
Yeah.
It's really nice to talk to you before I graduate because I feel like it just makes me reminisce more about St. Mary's, about how like so many other people have had good experiences, and it makes me like very happy that I chose this campus. Yeah.
It's a great place.
It's a great place. Very special.
It's a great place, but it has its faults.
Yes. But I'm glad that, because I feel like even in our class, we talked about St. Mary's and our professor, and like everyone's like, everyone loves St. Mary's because we're here, and if people really didn't like it, obviously people would transfer or not be here, but I feel like everyone who has a genuine love for St. Mary's isn't afraid to put out its faults. Like we've had another speaker that came in and he pioneered the Career Center.
Tom Brown.
Tom Brown.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you about him, but
So he would like obviously put a lot of his life and time into St. Mary's, which you wouldn't do for someone you didn't love. But then he also was like the first one to say like, this happened, this happened, this happened, research this, research that, which I feel like is a great sign because when you truly love something, you're not afraid to show the faults and see like where you can get better in what areas. So I just thought that was really fun to like hear someone love St. Mary's so much, but also like lay out everything that's wrong with it too. So yeah,
I still call him.
he's great. Yeah.
He likes to talk.
He was a good talk. I feel like I was engaged like the whole time, and I was like,
yeah.
cool talking.
And I didn't really like him when I was here.
You didn't?
Well, I won't say I didn't like him.
Differing opinions.
He was, let's see, I think he's only like 4 years older than I am. He got this job when he was 25 years old.
Yeah, he
That's
mentioned,
pretty good.
I didn't know.
he mentioned that like he was like fresh out of college as well, and like he knew one of the brothers, and he was like, oh, we need someone to fill in, like, do you want to fill in? And yeah.
But he could talk the talk at the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
And so I think I mentioned that there were two offices. One was for assistant dean for black, assistant dean for Mexican studies. He was the black guy. I didn't really go into those offices because I felt I could just do what I needed to do without their help. But it was a great place to hang out.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a place over here where this building, right past Galileo, it was called the jail.
That's yeah.
GAOL.
Oh, I was like, yeah, just some things that
And it was just like a building probably twice the size of this room.
oh yeah.
And they had their 2 offices in there. And they had a bigger room with a pool table. Where they moved the pool table in there because they felt that would attract all the students.
Yeah.
And so we all hung out there.
Oh.
You know, and it was pretty cool to go in there and hang out. And they painted, that's where all the murals were painted that you see
Yeah.
in that other place. But to me, Tom Brown was a jive talker. He just talked the talk. And I thought he was full of crap. Sometimes.
But that's cool you still keep in contact with them.
No, yeah, it's I didn't really respect him a lot because I really had no interaction with him, even with the other counterparts. But I appreciate him now.
Yeah.
I mean, I've talked to him. I've kept in touch with him since. I mean, off and on, we went long stretches without communicating. But more recently, you know, I called him to talk about this class, and you know, going back and forth, he was refreshing me on some of the things that happened that I knew happened, but he was telling me what happened behind the scenes. And I said, oh, I didn't know that. And that kind of stuff. And so I told him, hey, I appreciate you now more than I did back then.
You said that. Was he laugh about that?
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
He got mad at me once. You know, they had that wine, what do you call that thing?
The pub.
During the summer.
Oh, yes.
The one on art festival.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lafayette Wine Art Festival.
No.
The
Here at St.
school
Mary's.
thing, yeah.
It's a wine fundraiser thing.
Oh.
It's over at the hall over here, Soda Center.
Okay.
I had the alumni director one time. This was like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I was talking to the alumni director for some reason, and we got afterwards. He said, "Hey, you know, I got a couple tickets to the wine thing." I said, oh, "Okay." So I invited my old roommate from college, and we came down and we drank a lot. And then next year, I said, "Hey, you want to do it again?" And he said, "Sure." So I put a note out to this group of people that I text with from back then. I said, "Hey, anybody want to go?" You know, back then it was only like $40. Now it's like $80 or something. So he responds back to me and says, "Hey, that sounds like a great idea." You know? So I didn't go at the last minute. Something came up. I started getting all these texts. "Where are you?"
Oh no.
"I'm right here."
Did you not know that you canceled? That's right.
He got pissed. He was really pissed.
Is he what?
Well, he was expecting to see me and the group. But, we ironed it out.
Things happen. It's no biggie.
That's
That's what I was saying. Oh, we didn't tell you too. So, for our finals week, I think I'll look at the email. Do you know what date that is?
17th.
May
It's a
17th.
Thursday, right?
Is it May? Do you know for sure?
I don't have it for sure.
We're having everyone come to our classroom for our final. And we'll have food, and we're gonna present like the website we're creating for like our interviews. Like you'll see it before it's published because we want to run things by you before. But we're gonna be presenting it, and he's gonna get food if you'd like to come to our
You
class
are invited.
for our final. And I believe let me try to find the exact.
And then I have a separate question, kind of regarding our website. If you had like a song that reminds you of your time at St. Mary's, is there a specific song that you can think of? Or a few, maybe?
Or an artist.
Oh man, there's tons. You guys don't recognize them, I know. Let me look at, what day is it, the 17th?
I'm gonna find
It's not the 17th. Search up when the finals are.
It's the Thursday one.
St. Mary's finals schedule. Because then it'll just, I'm pretty sure it's just on, or it's the day of graduation. I remember there's like 2 people in our class who like can't go or something. Okay, wait. Thursday, Friday.
It's
Thursday.
May 21st.
It's Thursday 1 to 3, I
May
believe.
21st, Thursday, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m.
Okay. I think I can make it.
Here, I will just send you this email. And it's in the Intercultural Center.
Okay.
Oh, he did.
Oh, he sent an
change it.
email out about it? Like a final?
It's on the syllabus.
Okay, awesome.
Hey, that's the day before graduation.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it was like around graduation when he scheduled it. Or,
I
well,
thought graduation was on Monday, isn't it?
Graduation the 22nd.
Second.
Yeah. I'm gonna say finally.
I'm gonna end our recording, I think.
Then we get started again after. You ask him a question.
Oh, I'll just leave it right
Okay. I apologize.
But there's no graduation on that day, right?
I think there is. I think it's the master's graduation. So
But
they
all,
do,
sorry.
the masters graduate on the 21st. And I
That's
think
at night, isn't it?
yeah, I think it's at night. So I don't nothing's happening during this time for like any of the seniors or anything. So I just have to.
I remember I came down for my daughter's graduation.
It's
Came from Walnut Creek. That was the biggest mistake. I should have come down from Orinda.
One day
The
early.
traffic was backed up all the way to Lafayette.
now. Ooh.
I remember, yeah, I went last year for graduation, or 2 years ago. The road, like, the graduation was at 11 a.m. I was there at 7. It was bumper to bumper. Like, you could not, I was gonna walk. It was crazy. It is.
I plan on going to graduation this year to see all the other guys graduate, so
Literally get
note
there
to
in,
self.
like, 2 hours.
I might just have to park at the Safeway down the street and walk up the
You live
trail.
on campus.
I do live on campus, yeah.
I thought you were.
I just don't leave campus the night before or
Yeah,
anything
exactly.
silly. Okay, note to self.
Ride your bike.
Oh yeah.
Walk.
I've always wanted to bring my bike up here. Never brought a bike up here.
So would you like to schedule another interview? Or was this good enough? I just wanna.
It's
Yeah.
your class.
Okay, well, we had 3 that we had to do, but then if we all want to do a 4th together, if you feel like you have more to say.
I can always keep talking, but
Okay.
I think it would be nice.
Yeah,
Up to you.
you-
I think a 4th one would be nice.
Close out, yeah.
Yeah.
But we'd love to take pictures of
Of the
jacket,
clothing,
unless
yeah.
you guys have more questions.
The song, if you ever. Well, I can get a cape next time we meet.
Yeah. I'll just-
I'll tell you 2 songs. When I was a freshman, I had a small turntable.
Mm-hmm.
And my brother bought me an album. It was Smokey Robinson and the Miracles.
Oh.
I forget which. I'll email you the song. I
Sounds
played
good.
that nonstop in my just at home.
That's awesome. Yeah, we
And
can
then
do
when I
that.
was a senior, it was Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Mm.
Fantasy. I think was the song.
Good, well, yeah, we can like have like little links in the website. It'll be like it's described as a very interactive website. I'm excited to see the albums, but like there'll be like tabs about each people. There'll be like pictures of whatever like the artifacts we acquire, and then a link to like the song. Yeah, it'll be really cool. I think. I'm
Yeah.
excited. I'm excited to see how it works out. Yeah.
If I think of better songs on it.
Those are good.
Those are good.
Putting fire out myself. They're good.
Yeah, that was I still remember doing the hustle.
Justin Hall's the one by the volleyball courts, right? Yeah. I think so.
Well, there's one that I did.
I think so.
Yeah, there's a pool table in that hall now. and a
Oh, really?
massage chair, a weirdly
Yeah.
like over the top massage
And that
chair.
first room on the left when you walk in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There used to be the TV room.
I think they redid it this year.
They redid it this year. It's like pretty nice.
So.
One summer, so there was no carpeting when I was here as a freshman.
Oh,
One summer we came through and we put wallpaper on all the rooms.
oh, dang.
And then some company came in and put carpeting.
Aw.
I worked on campus one summer and it was like the best summer ever. I was not expecting it, but because there's no one on campus except for the athletes. And then you have the gym to yourself. Everyone's just happy. It was the best summer. I think about it all the time. I got to stay in the RA room, and there was like air conditioning to myself. It was so cool. It was a great gig.
You know, they had those summer camps too, right?
Oh yeah.
So I was working with the maintenance staff, and we drive around this truck. And we were painters.
That's so fun.
We just paint everything white. And then they had the summer camps, and I told the guy, hey, you know, if you really don't have a lot for us to do, you know, can I go work at the summer camp? The guy said, sure.
What?
Soccer summer camp. So there was in MIDI. That's the one with the girls' dorm on top and the guys in the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're in MIDI.
Yeah.
And all these kids, they're all little kids. And the brother was still living there, and he hated it because all these little snotty kids were in there. And he would just take off and come back to sleep. And so one night, my soccer coach was one of the coaches. So he says, "Hey, come back to my room after dinner, you know."
Yeah.
So we're in there. He brings out a stack of cards and started playing.
Oh, dang.
And he brings out some beer. Not supposed to do that shit. So there we are, just I think it was 4 of us. Kids running up and down the hall, screaming and fighting. We said, and all of a sudden there's the brother. And the guy was just like beet red. And he was so pissed.
None of you guys were.
And I thought for sure he was going to kick us out or something.
Oh, I'm joining you.
The thing, that guy was an alcoholic.
Oh.
My brother. It was kind of interesting. He was a brother. Yeah. Guy drank a lot. And eventually, but he was a psychologist or psychiatrist by training. Eventually went on the way and had his own practice with the brothers.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, when he came in beat red, we all thought he was just drunk.
Fair enough.
He was
There's I don't know if you know Father Tom, but he's on campus, and my friend lives in, oh my gosh, what's Aquinas? Yeah, Aquinas.
I think it's the 3rd floor.
He's in the second.
Oh, second floor.
And he'd always have like the door open, and he'd have like books, like a lot of books that he was reading, and then he'd always have classical music playing all the time. And one time, he invited me and all my friends that we were in class with, like, to have spaghetti dinner with him. And at first, because I didn't go to a private school growing up in high school, so I was like, this is really like creepy. I thought it was really like weird, because it's an older man inviting like college kids into his room, but it was actually like, it was a really fun experience. It was so kind of him. I feel like we've kept a relationship throughout my whole 4 years, so it was pretty cool. I didn't mean, he wasn't creepy at all. I was saying like, I expected it to be kind of weird, because I wasn't used to it, but it was really kind and very, yeah.
So I was telling you about that brother that we used to go to the symphony with.
Yeah.
So one time, when he was still outside, we picked him up in Oakland, driving to the symphony, and a friend of mine whipped out a joint.
Like not for the brother.
And he smoked right along with us.
Oh my god.
It was kind of, I was going, wow. You know, the guy's like, I don't know, 25 years older than I was. It was great.
That's hilarious.
We had the great, I mean, we would not just go to the symphony. we'd go out to eat first and
That's a good
just
experience.
drink beers. It's just good. And then just go to symphonies. So if you guys want to have another meeting, that's fine, but make it worthwhile. I mean,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We'll discuss with some questions and see, because I feel like we got a lot of really good information that
Yeah.
might not even need it. And if we have any questions, we can just email you.
or if you want, you can zoom in or.
Zoom in, yeah. Yeah. Thanks for coming. That was really awesome.
Yeah.
And we love seeing these. These are just
Yeah,
so
it's good.
awesome. Lots of
You're
pictures.
hilarious.
They're
I
so
tried it on and it still fits.
Wow.
No, just kidding.
good. So I think it's like the best lighting. Like, should we?
I think we.
Just on top
I
of
think
the
we're
table.
just on that table. Look good.
Do you have a favorite brewery around here?
Around here, let's see.
We got a picture.
No, up in Concord, they've got one. It's called the Hop Grenade. And that was, it's right in downtown. They have just tons of on tap and also a lot of
Yeah.
ton of bottled beer. It's all microbreweries.
Nice.
Oh, that's so.
Is that what's this say?
Is it
Is
say
it
my
Miguel
name?
Gonzalez?
Oh, what's your name?
It's my name.
Oh, what's that? Oh, sorry. I didn't.
This is so
Oh,
cool.
what's this so cool?
Yeah, no.
Can I have a take a picture?
Yeah, no, it's really, really cool.
Oh, that's so cool. My phone's very cracked, so.
This is what I want to do for Dario and Gid next year.
Oh. And me. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, exactly.
I had a friend who wanted one of those jackets so bad, but he didn't play sports.
No.
So he went out for soccer.
Oh.
Not know how to play soccer, but he stuck it out for the whole year. And he said, "I got my letter."
Yeah.
And he went out and got a jacket.
Honestly, worth it.
It was funny.
This one's cool too.
You take
Apparently, you know the dirt lot that's right by the soda center?
Yes.
It's like a gravel lot. It's right in front of like the psychology building.
Okay. Yeah.
Apparently, there used to be a building there. Or was there never a building there like when you were here?
Oh, you mean a real building or?
Yeah, like a
oh,
real building.
One of those mobile home type buildings.
Someone told me it was like a real building.
The one across from the soda center?
Yeah, like that gravel lot.
Yeah, where they park.
I
It
don't
might.
know.
Did it used to be the museum by chance?
I don't know. I don't think it was a post office before. Could be wrong.
Maybe. Who knows?
These are so cool. Wow.
That's
I really
sick.
like that.
The
Yeah.
patch.
Yeah, that's
So
cool.
they have similar shirts, but this one just looks so much cooler. Yeah, it's awesome. Thanks for bringing them.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you.
I had forgotten I had this. My wife went and found it.
Oh.
She says, "Here, take this."
I was gonna ask.
He says, "Leave it with him." I said, "Look how dirty it is."
How did you and your wife meet?
My roommate in college when I was a freshman got married. Didn't I tell you?
Yes, at the wedding, right?
No, I didn't
She
meet her
was
at the wedding.
singing, or she was
sang after.
supposedly sang there, but she didn't know, or something like that.
Oh.
She, let's see. My roommate, we went to, did I tell you we went to a party?
It was something like that.
We went to a party in, you know where Polk Street is?
Why
In
does
San
that
Francisco.
In San Francisco?
But yeah, that sounds so familiar. I was like, wait, why? Yes,
So it's,
yes.
Thanks.
Big queer center, right? There's all kinds of gay, lesbian, hidden things.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say. My roommate said, "Hey, let's go to a party in San Francisco." I said, "All right, let's go." And we went. Ain't nobody there. And he was getting drunker and shit. He drove. So I had to wait for him. And then at one point he was making out with this girl on the stairway. And I said, "Oh, man." And then I realized, I went up to him and I said, "Is she even 18?
Oh.
Because he was so drunk.
Yeah.
Anyway. So anyway, he that stopped. And he came back in and he said, one more beer. there in the kitchen of this house, and we're just talking, drinking, and then all of a sudden this whole new group of people came in, including this one lady. And she looked right at me. She had long hair. I wasn't really attracted to her, but she saw us, and before I knew it, they were dancing. And he says, "Give me another hour." And it's like 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. And I said, "You know what? Give me your keys. Let me just go sleep in the car." And he goes, "No, man. I don't want you to take off." I said, "Fine." And I didn't know anybody. So I said, "Hey, look, I'm just going to take off." So I start walking down this Polk Street. And all I see is guys on corners, dark corners. And they're all like, "Hey, buddy."
Oh no.
You know, like I was a tourist looking for some action.
Yeah.
And I said, "I gotta get out of here." So I went a little bit further and finally flagged a taxi. And I said, "I gotta get to Oakland." I said, "How much does it cost?" He goes, "Probably about $25." I said, "Oh crap, I only have $20. Why don't you take me as far as you can?" And I thought he was just gonna leave me on where the ferry building is or something. I was gonna hitchhike or something. The guy says, "You know what? I'll take you." So he took me all the way to Oakland. I think he was expecting something more. Anyway, the party, he hooked up with this girl. They eventually got married.
Wow.
At the wedding, my future wife sang, because his wife was an opera singer too. They both went to Sonoma State and studied music up there, music performance. And she sang at her wedding. And I was out by the kegger, drinking beer.
Yeah.
And so I didn't meet her. And then afterwards, I ended up moving. They went to live in Oakland, south of Lake Merritt.
Okay.
And I was living in Lafayette and paying rent. I was commuting to San Francisco, and I was getting tired of taking the all the way. So he said, "Hey, there's an apartment right across the street. Why don't you move in? We'll be close, hang out." Blah, blah, blah. I said, "Okay." So we moved in, and after a period, his wife says, "Can I set you up?" So she sets me up with one of her friends, this redhead. There was nothing there. She lived in Petaluma, I think.
Okay.
There was nothing there. She was so stiff. You know, she came from a upper crust family. There was nothing there, and I came back and I said, "That was a mistake. Don't ever do that to me again." So 1 or 2 months passed, and she says, "Can I set you up again?" So we all went wine tasting in Sonoma. My future wife was working during the day, and so we met up afterwards and had dinner. So that's where I met her.
Did you guys
Oh, yeah.
really?
She's cute.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
I have a picture.
I'm gonna ask a picture. Dang, that's like, I love stories like
I
that.
don't think I have a picture. I have a wedding picture, but it's an old one.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
But she was